This is Đà Nẵng TV News brought to you by the Đà Nẵng Radio and Television. My name is Dewey, and today's news will feature the following headlines. Nearly 160,000 deaths from COVID-19 globally. Remote medical examination and treatment platform launched. Online book fair opened. As of April the 19th morning at Vietnam time, the world recorded nearly 160,000 deaths from COVID-19 in a total of more than 2.3 million infections, mostly in the United States and European countries. The total number of COVID-19 infections worldwide has exceeded 2.3 million, including nearly 160,000 deaths. The United States is the most affected country, with 736,000 infections and nearly 39,000 deaths. Meanwhile, in Europe, Italy on April the 18th recorded nearly 3,500 infections of SARS-CoV-2 virus, bringing the total number of COVID-19 cases in this country to nearly 176,000, including more than 23,000 deaths. Spain recorded nearly 192,000 cases of COVID-19, including more than 20,000 deaths. On April the 18th, Prime Minister Nguyễn Xuân Phúc attended a ceremony to launch the remote medical examination and treatment platform and Blue Zone application to help the community in COVID-19 prevention and control. With the implementation of the remote medical examination and treatment platform, patients who have made an appointment but do not go to medical facilities because of the fear of COVID-19 epidemic will be examined online by a number of medical equipment or apps on mobile phone. With this platform, experienced doctors can provide thorough and direct consultations for patients in far-flung hospitals across the nation, particularly for serious cases. Doctors at grassroots hospitals will be consulted with experts at the operating center in order to provide appropriate treatment. Also at the ceremony to launch a remote medical examination and treatment platform, Prime Minister Nguyễn Xuân Phúc proposed the Ministry of Information and Communications and the Ministry of Health closely coordinate to accelerate the process of digital transformation in the healthcare sector. Accordingly, the focus is on developing technology platforms for the healthcare sector, such as the remote medical examination and treatment platform and the smart health management platform. Attention is also given to forming a national database on health, as well as coordinating and building and perfecting the legal corridor, standards and technical regulations, creating favorable conditions for digital transformation in the healthcare sector. The Prime Minister asked the Hanoi Medical University Hospital to continue drastically deploying remote medical examination and treatment. On that basis, the Ministry of Health asked hospitals nationwide to implement this activity effectively. At the checkpoints located right at the gateways to the next city, the work of epidemic prevention and control is being strictly implemented in order to best control the epidemic situation and timely prevent suspected cases from penetrating into the city. According to statistics, over the past month, at the quarantine checkpoints at the gateways to the city, more than 11,000 vehicles with more than 50,000 people have been checked, including more than 8,600 cases required to make medical declaration. Besides, facing the complicated situation of the COVID-19 epidemic, Đà Nẵng has recently requested to suspend the operation of fixed route coaches departing from and arriving in Đà Nẵng City, inland waterway transport means, taxis, tourist coaches, contract cars, etc. Since April the 16th, food and beverage service providers in the city are allowed to operate, but only to offer their takeaway and delivery services. It is reported that the local people and business households have strictly implemented the epidemic prevention and control measures. The task forces have intensified the inspection and required owners of food and beverage stores, food deliverers, and takeaway customers to strictly follow food safety and hygiene regulations, epidemic prevention measures, and especially the social distancing rules. The Department of Industry and Trade requires food shipping companies to ask their drivers to wear face masks, as well as fully arranged vehicles and items for drivers to prevent epidemic, according to regulations and recommendations of health agencies. Recently, the Ministry of Labour, Work, Investment and Social Affairs had just submitted to the Prime Minister a draft circular regulating the implementation of measures to support people facing difficulties due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Accordingly, 8 subtracts will be supported from the 62,000 dong package. Notably, employees who do not sign labor contracts, self-employed, and lose their jobs are also entitled to the financial support of 1.8 million dongs per month for a period of not exceeding 3 months from April to June 2020. In addition, the object must be in the non-agricultural field, doing one of the following: street vendors, small traders on the street without fixed locations, scrap collectors, porters, motorbike taxi drivers and cycle drivers, lottery ticket sellers, people who are self-employed or working at business households in the fields of catering, accommodation, tourism, healthcare, beauty, sports, and entertainment. In order to support the people in Da Nang to overcome difficulties during social isolation period due to the COVID-19 epidemic, teachers and students of the Da Nang Vocational Tourism College have created a rice ATM to provide free rice to people. At the Da Nang Vocational Tourism College, in these days, this rice ATM has been operating throughout 2 shifts from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. and from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. daily to timely distribute free rice to people with difficult circumstances in the locality. With the contributions of the school's officials, lecturers, students, and sponsors, up to now, this rice ATM has been loaded with more than 5 tons of rice to distribute free rice to people. In addition, the college has also received many other necessities from the kind-hearted people to supplement their support source to provide for the disadvantaged people. Moving on to some other notable news. On April the 17th, the Prime Minister issued a number of guidelines on the implementation of the electronic non-stop toll collection system. Specifically, the Prime Minister asked the Ministry of Transport to study and fully receive comments from the government's members to finalize the government's report to submit to the National Assembly's Standing Committee. Accordingly, the Ministry of Transport was required to accelerate the implementation of effective solutions for the non-stop toll collection system, ensuring that the system will be put into operation in 2020. Earlier, in order to accelerate the implementation of the non-stop toll collection project Phase 2, the Prime Minister approved the policy to allow Viettel to contribute capital to establishing business to implement this project. From April the 18th, the railway sector has resumed operation a pair of freight trains for parcel services on the Hanoi-Ho Chi Minh route under the new itinerary in the second phase of social isolation period. When the train arrives at the station, after only a few hours, the railway staff will deliver the goods to the recipient's address, or the recipient can also receive their goods by themselves at station. For the Hanoi-Ho Chi Minh City Railway, the Ministry of Transport has requested to operate at most 2 pairs of passenger trains per day and continue suspending all activities of local passenger trains. On April the 19th morning, the online book fair to mark the 7th Vietnam Book Day officially took place. The online book fair features online book stores of publishers and distributors, events introducing new books, and talk shows with authors and speakers via the Internet. Taking place from April the 19th to May the 20th at the website address book365.vn, the event is organized online by the Ministry of Information and Communications to ensure the requirements for COVID-19 epidemic prevention and control is expected to contribute to promoting reading culture in the community. According to the National Center for Hydrometeorological Forecasting, due to the influence of the southern edge of the western hot low pressure area, from April the 19th, hot weather will occur in the northwestern region and provinces from Thanh Hóa to Thừa Thiên Huế, with the highest temperature of 35 to 37 degrees Celsius. From April the 20th to 22nd, hot weather will occur in northwestern region, north central and mid central regions, with the highest temperature of 35 to 37 degrees Celsius, even over 38 degrees Celsius in some places. And now let's take a look at our updated weather forecasts. And that's it for today's news. Don't forget to check out Đà NẵngTV.vn to rewatch our programs. Thank you for watching and goodbye for now.